Wanted to welcome everybody to coming to this. Everybody here knows Jim or has worked with Jim. And when I was writing down some stuff that I wanted to say about him, the first thing that I thought of was, how would you describe Jimmy Steed to somebody who doesn't know him? And I went ahead and scratched through that and said, the easiest part to say about Jimmy is that he served the police department with distinction for 30 years and 3 months. To give you the statistics on Jim, he began with the department in February of 1986 in patrol. He promoted to the rank of sergeant in August of '89. And for those next few years, he stayed in patrol as a shift supervisor. Then he went to the CID division, back to services, and then back to CID. Getting to CID for real in 2007, where he got assigned probably one of the most intense caseload that a detective can have. There's lots of different cases that these folks work, but his caseload was primarily child abuse and sexual assault of children. And there's not hardly tougher cases to investigate, and the emotional drain on working those kind of cases are pretty intense. And the main thing, I think, at that point in time is when he probably showed his highest level of competence at that point in time. Because after he was involved in these investigations, it was no big deal. He got a lot of recognition by his peers, not only in the police department and law enforcement part of this, but also from CPS workers, the child asset group, all the people that work these type of cases really thought the world of him because of his dedication and how he handled himself in that. He promoted to lieutenant in 2012, returning to the services division, and then made back home to patrol in March of 2014. I looked for awards through his personnel jacket, and he was the top firearms qualifier in 2012, and he had lots of attaboy letters, good jobs, commendations, and all that. And one of the funny things, or not funny things, one of the unusual things about any police officer's file is I didn't see any complaints. I didn't see any complaint histories. I didn't see any internal affairs investigations. So when I say he was good at what he did, he was good at what he did. Going back to what I think his main assets are is his ability to communicate. And y'all just, agree with me or not on this, you tell me. Don't ask him a question that you don't want answered. Is that fair? Don't ask him his opinion on something. Okay? And last but not least, I'll say don't argue with him, because you're going to waste a lot of air and you're going to lose anyway. Just that simple. He's always been a straight shooter. He stands for what he believes is right. He has a strong sense of duty, and is probably one of the most dependable people I think I've ever met. He's always willing to help anybody, and I think there can be hardly anything better said about somebody than that. So Jim, we appreciate your service. Wish you the best. Everybody in Precinct 4, make sure you vote for him. And that's a joke. But anyway, I'll get us out. Thank you very much. And one little token of our appreciation, recognition of Captain Jimmy Steed, appreciation for 30 years of courageous, honest, and dedicated service to the citizens of Paris, Texas, February 17, 1986 through May 31, 2016. Thank you again, sir. What we're going to do now is Captain Bull. You're on. Right.
Is this thing on? Man, what can I say about him?
Please don't.
To the best of my memory, he and I actually started on the streets on the same day. He was hired February 17th and immediately shipped off to police academy to learn how to be a policeman. I, on the other hand, was hired on May 10th. Now, you got to keep in mind, in 1986, you could work the streets for a full year before you had to go to the police academy. So, my official hire date was May 10th, which was a Saturday. Now, in my mind, I can't swear that this is true, but I remember the first day I showed up for work. I can remember him showing up for work and everybody welcoming the rookie back from the academy. So that's how I remember this. So I'm thinking we actually started on the same day. I know it wasn't 3 months later that they foolishly put the two of us in a car together to ride around for a while. But Jimmy and I became friends, I guess, somewhere around May 10th, 1986. And we have been friends ever since. So there are certain things that I will never see or hear that do not bring him to mind. I won't go into all of them up here. But I will say that, and those of you who ever worked with Lieutenant Daniel McLeod, he used to have a saying, you stick your finger in a cup of coffee and that pull it out, and that right there is the difference you're going to make when you leave this place. Well,
He also said, Mr. Bull, get him off.
I'll burn a damn piece. But the fact is that Jimmy and I have already had this conversation. The fact is that that's true. You can stick your finger in a cup of coffee and pull it out, and it feels right in behind you. But when you have somebody like him, there's still an empty space. I mean, he can be, and we can fill that position behind him. He's never going to be replaced. I've enjoyed working with him for 30 years. There were times we certainly got on one another's nerves, but I mean, we were always friends. So, as is common, we normally present all of our retirees with firearms to go in the way yet. For Jim, we got a little car, 9mm pistol. It's been etched and engraved with deepest gratitude from the Paris Police Department, Captain Jimmy Steed, February 17th, 1986, so May 31st, 2016, and on the other side of it there, Captain Jimmy Steed, 30 years of service. So we hope you'll enjoy that. I pretty much guarantee you you're going to have to keep it now or have it refinished because we wrote all over it. But anyway, something you'd enjoy. I know you're going to keep that forever, and I know the kids will have that. So hope you enjoy it, and I give it back. You'll have to go sign it out at the Texas Gun Vault, 2121 Clark.
Very nice.
Anyway, it'll be up here. Also, we got you this little shadow box with the different badges and patches that you have worn in your tenure here. I'm not going to say anything. Yeah, I'm going to. So look those badges over. Some of them may not be the exact badge that you wore. One of them is a badge that you probably would have never been eligible to wear. Look at the top of it. As I was grabbing a badge out of the big box to put on this thing, everybody knows I'm kind of losing my vision, right? So I snatched one up, thinking Captain, Paris Police Department. The one on top actually says chaplain. So I've already made arrangements to have with a suitable replacement. But anyway, now again, thank you so much. Take that.
Okay.
And that's yours to do with as you please. You can actually take it with you, or I'll take it back and get it fixed, get the chapel thing done. So, good enough?
This is the part that everybody usually kind of says, oh crap, because if anybody else has a presentation or would like to bring up any stories or anything like that, we open the floor. The only thing I will suggest is make sure that the statute of limitations has run. Anybody got any presentations or anything like to say in front of anybody? Yeah.
We'll have a presentation. I'll
Okay.
say. First of all, I was kind of shocked a month or so ago when Jimmy said he was retiring because I hadn't heard him say anything about retirement last year. It was out of the blue. I didn't know I'm kind of concerned that he is retiring because he comes from humble beginnings, and if you listen to Jimmy talk, I mean, he's pretty humble now. Doesn't have a whole lot of money or anything. I'm afraid Leah's going to get a third job and take these cruises and trips around
That's good
the world.
thinking right there.
Good thinking. Trying to help you out there. They'll afford all the cruises around the world. And I do owe Jimmy a lot in that he is actually now this is what Jimmy told me to. It may not be accurate. I had to check and verify it. What he told me was he's actually when he got me into CID. So when I heard I was interested, and I think kind of his words, he sort of greased the skids, slid me right in there. They didn't want you in there, but I greased, got you in there. I politicked for you, got you in there. That's sort of what it took us. I appreciate you doing that for me. I could say a lot about Jimmy. I don't want to take a whole lot of time. I've been here 20 years. I've worked somewhere else for 12 years. In 32 years, working in the police business, being in a police family, because that's what it is. It's not just your job, it's your family. And in 32 years, I haven't known anybody that's been a better friend or a better man in 32 years. And I'm going to be sure. Thank you.
All right, anybody else? Okay.
I always hate to see these guys that started out on the lead, but I don't understand the mathematics that go into it. And Jimmy is unique, and he's able to get out, and I appreciate it. We've worked together. We've worked with one another for many years. I think in the last 5 or 6, 7 years, we've grown closer and in friendship, and I wish him the best. I wish Liz and Beth, with retirement. Hope you live a happy, long life. Enjoy yourself. Do a good job with JP. And get out there and campaign, work hard. And I know you're successful in what you're doing. And I just appreciate you as a man, as a policeman, as a friend. And I wish you the best.
Oh, man. No, I'm just kidding, man. I just want to say this. Jimmy's been an extremely professional police officer. I don't know if the family knows. I don't know if Jimmy I can't ever recall a day when he called in sick. I mean, I'm talking about this guy. I thought, Jimmy Steed never calls in sick. Extremely dedicated, always a consummate professional, great friend. Just a tribute to law enforcement. So I just don't know if the family, I don't want y'all to know, this guy was a worker. He worked hard for his family, and he's a good family man. So I just want to say, congratulations, Judge Steed.
Thanks, you, Jay. I don't usually say much about anybody, but this circumstance is different. Jimmy, I think, is one of the most dedicated people. I think that everybody sees that because he is at work, not every day, but when he shows up 30 or 45 minutes before he even has to be there, you see the dedication every day. So when I walk in the back door, my first instinct was to look at his office. I knew he was going to be there every day. I hate to see him go because he's a good guy. He's one of those that stand out in a crowd because of what he does and what he stands for. And if you ever want to piss him off, lie to him. I've seen it. That's the only time I ever really see him angry is when somebody lied to him and he knew about it. And that says a whole lot to me about his character and his demeanor. So he's going to be missed, not only because of his dedication, but because of his personality. Like I said, he never lost an argument. I tried it a few times. I just want to say best of luck, and I wish you well. No matter what. Okay. Love you. Get it.
Just in case there was anything controversial came up, I entitled the very last thing on that program as a rebuttal, because that fits Jim. But Jim, the floor is yours.
Okay. After hearing all that, I changed my mind. Y'all just told me this a couple of weeks ago. As most people who are involved in any communication circles with me know, there's kind of two Jimmys. There's one that knows he's going to speak to a group of people and will plan and plan and plan and write and plan and write and plan and write and be overly prepared. And then there's the other Jimmy that attends staff meetings and CID meetings, and just whatever pops into his mind, they have to suffer through it. And I usually wait till somebody else says something and then, as he calls it, rebuttal. James and Pedro, well aware of these type of outbursts. Well, I didn't prepare. So, and I kind of wished I had now. I wish I had prepared. I was thinking driving up here about the things I'm going to miss. And I'm sure I'll leave something or someone out. But one, and unless you work here, you probably don't understand it. The first thing that comes to my mind is morning coffee and dispatch. Angie sitting back there, she knows. Coming in every morning early, getting my paperwork, unlocking the chief's door with my special key, putting the paperwork in his office, and going to dispatch and having a cup of coffee, catching up on them, getting the previous 24 hours of information, some would call it gossip, talking them off the ledge when they're wanting to kill somebody. You're welcome. You're welcome. Talking them down. And if they're in a good mood and everything's running pretty smooth, then I'll try to stir them up before I leave. So you can take care of that. But the morning coffee and dispatch is something that I'm going to miss. Not because my coffee costs more than dispatch coffee, but that is another fact. I'm going to miss the stock market reports from James coming by. Those of you who know James know that the stock market swings do incite a little excitement with James. He did report to me this morning that he moved all his money out of mutual funds and into the fixed. It kind of saddens me because I won't be able to try to get you stirred up about that. Enjoy the guys on patrol every morning, talking to them during the day, hearing about all their misadventures, things they do, because those of us that have been here a long time and don't really do real police work anymore, we relive our lives through these guys. They come in, you know, we did this, or we wrestled this guy, or we this and that and the other, and you know, we relive it through them, and then they have to endure the always there. Well, I remember back when me and Terry were down at Casa Bonita, and they're rolling their eyes, going, "Oh my God, make it stop!" But we have to do it. And I'm gonna miss picking on pretty much every night. There's probably somebody that doesn't pick on. I don't know if I had to look at the roster, but pick on James a little bit, pick on Pedro a little bit. But enjoy hearing CID talk about their cases. I miss that terribly. That's probably, as Chief Hunter alluded to, probably the best part of my career was working in CID and working those key cases and working with Mr. Bean, who I have used as a counselor a few times. Usually when I get angry or emotional about something, when I was in services especially, and I was going to send an email out outlining my feelings on something, I would do with Chris what Chief Huntley used to do with me when he was a lieutenant. I'll call Chris in to read the email. I said, you think I ought to send this? And Chris, 85% of the time, would read it and says, don't send that. I'd take out this whole paragraph. Don't send it. And I'd say, okay, and then he'd walk out the door, and true to form, I'd hit send it. And regret it within about 30 minutes. You can't recall those things when they're open. That's the bad part. But I have relied on Chris to at least give me advice about what I should do. He knows I appreciate it. Chief Whitley's not here today. I was kind of hoping to see, but he's not as good a shape as he was. Got hired under Chief Whitley. Carl Lewis took over late fall in 1989, right after I made sergeant. Carl, more than chief of police, he's a good friend, just like he said. Probably the most interesting memory of myself and Carl, not that day at Castaneda, was when the t-shirt shop was downtown. And y'all know what I'm fixing to say. Myself and Carl coached a baseball team together one time. There was one of the players right there. And we were asked to leave the t-shirt shop one day.
Somebody was arguing with somebody.
I'm getting there. I got the floor now. We were arguing about what style of baseball socks our team was going to have. We had a difference of opinion. And they made us leave the store. The chief of police and a sergeant were made to leave a downtown establishment in Paris. And you may not believe this, but I graciously let him win and get the socks he wanted. I'm not bitter about it. I'm still mad. 20 years later. But all that aside, Carl, you've been a good friend. You've been there for me through thick and thin times, and I appreciate it. Carl had reigned over me for about 19 years, and then come on and coach Chief Hunter. I was looking through my personnel file a couple weeks ago trying to get out some vital information, just to get out some information for my other business. And I found where Chief Huntley did my background investigation before I was hired. And I appreciate you not being overly diligent in checking my background. Most people who went to work, he was the guiding hand in those days. Myself and Bob worked together in services for about 9 or 10 years together. He was a lieutenant, I was a sergeant. And probably the most useful thing I learned from Bob in my time with him is not how to put a new identity in CIS. It's not how to whatever. When you go in a fast food restaurant, just say Brahms on bond, because you have a route you run, right? And they have these little paper cups for the ketchup, right? Little bitty white paper cups, right? Those are for amateurs. I found out from Chief Hunter. I found out that those are for amateurs. What you do is you get the biggest plastic drink lid of the selection, and you put your ketchup on it. And you say, that's the one thing you taught me that I've used more than anything else is bypass the white cups, get the drink lid for the ketchup. You probably never knew I learned that from you, did you?
And you still use it.
Still use it to this day. And she frowns, what are you doing? I said,
It works.
it works, it's a good thing. Pass it over to my children.
It works.
I considered where I was going to tell that, but I just decided, like I said, I didn't plan this. So who knows what's going to come out next?
I am a little nervous to continue.
Oh, no, I'm not going to talk about propane tank sales.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. But it's been good. This is a good job. This is a good career. We get down, and I try to talk to the younger guys. You know, they don't feel like they're doing any good. They feel like they're just going out every day, taking reports. They don't see the end of it. Sometimes there is no end of it. Sometimes these guys can't bring it to me. It seems at times very unsatisfying. This is good work. These guys, I hope that they can see from time to time the good work they're doing, because it is, they're the difference. You know, without them, it would be chaos. Sometimes with them it's chaos. But I'm leaving a lot of people out. Mr. Bull's been there from the beginning. When I say Mr. Bull, I always call him that because that's what Lieutenant McLeod called him. At the end of each briefing for probably, I don't know how long, we would have briefing, and it would be, Mr. Bull, come in my office. Stop me when I tell something that's not true. And we were, the rest of us, young guys who didn't really know what we were doing, we're so grateful that anything stupid we thought about doing, he would usually do it first, and then we would, and it was always good to be off Mondays and Tuesdays on the 8-hour shift, because by Wednesday, Lieutenant McLeod was settled down, and I come to work on Wednesday, the first day. They said, oh my God, you should have been here Monday. I said, Terry knows how I feel about it. Him and me and Danny have some mental health sessions during the week from time to time. I'll counsel with Terry. Danny will counsel with me. I'll counsel with both of them. You know, when they're wanting to kill the chief, I say, not, you'll get caught, don't do it. But staff meetings, I will miss the staff meetings, not the meetings. I'm not going to miss the meeting, but I miss the opportunity to tell people they're wrong. Because I do get some joy out of it. I usually, for whatever reason, take the opposite of most people's opinion. Sometimes just for sport, other times because I really believe they're wrong. But I guess I can wrap it up saying, hey, I appreciate the kind words over the last 2 weeks. Lots of kind words, cards, gifts. People said lots of nice things. You know, sometimes you don't really know what good you've done or if you've done anything good. I appreciate it. I appreciate everything said. I've enjoyed wanting to be around. I do recognize that. I can be difficult because I like to have my way. Anything to say about that, David?
No.
Okay. And I will say this, I wouldn't be standing here today, I wouldn't be alive. There's no way I could have made this career without my wife. Miss Elizabeth. There's lots of rumors about mine and Liz's relationship. Yes, she does iron my clothes every day. Yes, if she's going to have a surgery, she'll iron a week's worth of them ahead of time. Yes, she does work 2 jobs. Yes, I do help her manage the money for those 2 jobs. And yes, she probably is one of the most tolerant people in North America, and I have not checked South America, but there's a chance that she is there too. But anyway, I love it. But at any rate, that's about all I got to say. I appreciate it. I've enjoyed it. It's been a great career. Moving to Precinct 4, vote early and often. Thank y'all. Appreciate it.